I'm like 50% the tax collector and 150,000% like the Pharisee comparing himself to others. Why? Welcome back, everyone. We are looking back at this past week's Sunday readings and looking ahead to next Sunday's readings. We know that most people attending Mass don't look ahead to the readings they'll be hearing. So I hope you'll find our little show fun and useful, especially if you're looking to connect more to the Bible readings during Mass. My name is Vincent and my buddy's name is Roy. We've been friends since childhood and we both volunteer at different churches as lectors, or the guys who read at Mass. We'll offer our thoughts on the readings as well as share some fun stories about volunteering at church and everyday life. Okay, let's get started. I can't believe it's the end of October already. Actually, just yesterday we went to the Warriors basketball game to watch the niece perform at the halftime show. So both her school's JV and varsity dance and cheer teams performed. And yes, I am totally jealous. She got to set foot on an NBA court. I'm so jealous. I was looking into these NBA Summer League ticket packages in Vegas. And I really want to take my dad and spend like a whole weekend just like watching hoops and getting like a VIP experience or one of those VIP packages where I was looking at it, you get to do like an on-court shoot around. I know he'd love that. I know I'd love that for sure. So maybe next summer, if God willing, we're all healthy and stuff. And he can still shoot, like just to be on a court and shoot around. I think that would be such a cool experience.
Yeah, totally. Last weekend, it was Great America's last run for season ticket holders.
Okay.
We just wanted to go there just to have some food because we had some vouchers to have a nice free lunch and then get out of there. We got there. Everybody wanted to go to Great America to probably do the same thing we did.
Oh.
The parking lot was full. And so we circled around and go, okay, let's go to this one place. We sat down looking at the menus and then we ordered online and oh, sorry, we don't take the vouchers. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
What?
And then we finally said, you know what? We said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to eat a cheap lunch. And then we're going to use the rest of the money to get the funnel cake. When she heard that idea, then she was like, okay, cool, let's do that. We got to the funnel place and then we're like completely changed it. Oh, they serve ice cream here. Let's do the churro ice cream sundae. Yeah. So we ordered that. And then when we started eating it, the churros was like eating concrete. It was so hard.
Oh, no.
And obviously, Lila loved the ice cream. So she ate all the ice cream. So when I had the chance to eat the churro, there was nothing to soften it. It was so hard. So I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay. Let's salvage this day. Let's go one more ride, pushing our luck. And then so we went to the Tiki Twirl. It was a really long line. We were probably waiting over 40 minutes.
Okay.
We were like literally the next one's up.
No.
And then it started to rain. And then they can't run the ride because it's all on just rubber wheels on a steel track. And they said that because it's raining, they can't operate the ride. Since it's only an hour till closing, they don't think the ride will dry up in time. So we're closing the ride. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Then we exited the ride and it started to pour rain and we got soaked. And we didn't bring any rain gear.
Oh, no.
And I was wearing a cotton hoodie and I got soaked. And we're like, okay, we still have a few dollars left on our voucher that we didn't get to spend. Let's get a souvenir, and then we'll get out of the rain. But then everybody else had the same idea, so the gift shop was crowded, and the line, and they had only 2 cashiers, and the lines were crazy long when we figured out what we wanted to get.
Oh no!
So, and then when we got out, obviously it stopped raining. We wasted like half the day and they were soaking wet.
I'm sorry.
And I had an announcement at church. We are releasing the new Formed app, and so we're offering it free to our parishioners. And so I offered to give the announcement.
I'm Roy, a St. Justin parishioner and a St. Justin school parent. I wish I was a student again.
Nice.
Yeah, because I wanted to say I'm a parishioner and a parent. Yeah, that was my Sunday.
All right, let's look ahead.
Yes, please, let's look at
All right, the first reading is from Wisdom. We can all use some wisdom, and it assures us that the souls of the righteous are secure in the hand of God. Any suffering that the righteous endured in this life was merely God testing and refining them like gold in a furnace. Ultimately, the reading promises that all those who remain faithful will understand truth and abide with God in perfect love and grace. The response is the famous Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want."
The second reading has two options. Romans 5 says that hope does not disappoint, anchored by the love of God poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit. This love was proven when Christ died for us while we were still sinners. So don't lose hope. Romans 6 focuses on baptism. St. Paul explains that being baptized means we are united with Christ in his death and burial. We die to our old sinful way of life, and just as Christ has risen from the dead, we are risen to a new life. Therefore, since we are united with him, we are also dead to sin and alive to God through Jesus.
And finally, the gospel, the first line is, Jesus said to the crowds. So keep this in mind, because in contrast to the last few weeks' gospels, which were meant for the Pharisees and holy people, this gospel is meant for the commoners. So it says, Jesus said to the crowds. When talking to everyone, he says that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have eternal life, and I shall raise him on that last day. So this is a more hopeful reading. So that is the gospel for this week. And we are looking at, it's not the 31st Sunday in Ordinary Time. Right now it's listed as All Souls Day because it falls on November 2nd. So those of you who remember, November 1st, All Saints Day, November 2nd, All Souls Day. Okay, how would you read this? The first reading from Wisdom, what do we got here?
All right, so for context, the author wrote this book for Greek-speaking Jews, coming from a wise Solomon-like figure. In this specific section of the book, it juxtaposes the wise and the unwise. Since this is picked for All Souls Day, it is wise to think that our faithful departed are saved in the hands of God. The first line literally says that God protects the just souls. It also notes that they seem afflicted but are at peace, and that suffering is necessary like melting gold to make it nice and shiny. So maybe read it like you're trying to console somebody who's grieving. A reading from the Book of Wisdom. The souls of the just are in the hands of God, and no torment shall touch them. They seemed, in the view of the foolish, to be dead, and their passing away was thought an affliction, and their going forth from us utter destruction. But they are in peace. For before men, indeed, they be punished, yet is their hope full of immortality. Chastise the little, they shall be greatly blessed, because God tried them and found them worthy of himself. As gold in the furnace, he proved them, and as sacrificial offerings, he took them to himself. In the time of their visitation, they shall shine, and shall dart about as sparks through stubble. They shall judge nations and rule over people, and the Lord shall be their king forever. Those who trust in him shall understand truth, and the faithful shall abide with him in love, because grace and mercy are with his holy ones, and his care is with his elect.
The word of the Lord. All right, let's do a look back to this past Sunday. In our homily from this past week, I forgot the key word and phrase from our homily. I was going to pull out my phone to jot it down real quick before it left my brain. While I was listening to the homily, after hearing the gospel of the Pharisee and tax collector in the temple, I was overwhelmed with the realization that, oh my gosh, I'm like 50% the tax collector and 150,000% like the Pharisee, comparing himself to others. Like, why? Because like, what? I know the Bible, I went to Catholic school, I never miss Mass, I try to go to extra Mass during the week if I can. I know all my prayers, I know the rosary, I know some of the Latin hymns, right? I know the morning offering, I memorize saints' feast days and their backstories, I read at Mass as a lector, I teach CCD, all this stuff. I love God according to myself. But I'm like the Pharisee because I think I'm pretty good because I do all these things. So when I see someone who's smarter or more successful in their career or good at sports or funnier or they're more charismatic or more talented than I am, I'll say something like, oh, well, at least I still go to Mass. You know, that guy or gal doesn't go to Mass anymore. Or at least I haven't lost my faith like her, or at least I'm not divorced like him. You know, some real vile stuff that I just compare myself with, not vile intention, but the fact that it comes in my mind and I entertain that thought of comparison. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm already in the wrong, right? So I compare myself to others when the only person I should be comparing or measuring myself against is Jesus. That's it. How am I more like Jesus? Maybe the saints too, because at least they were sinners, but they turned their life around. I'm comparing myself to make myself feel better about myself instead of being humble like the tax collector. I gotta be like the tax collector saying, oh God, have mercy on me, a sinner. That's it. Sinner. That's gotta be my mantra.
I came to a very similar conclusion looking back. I first want to think of ourselves as both of the characters. Just like you, we normally think we're just like, oh, the humble tax collector. I mean, in the beginning of the Mass, the penitential rite where we beat our breast, my fault, my most grievous fault. That's kind of where it comes from.
Yep.
So, you know, we're always thinking we're him. But if we ever think that we can never be like that Pharisee, then literally we are acting like the Pharisee,
exactly.
Just like how you are doing, right? If you say, "Oh, that's not me. I'm the humble tax collector, no doubt." Then you saying that you are like the Pharisee. We just have to be humble in all things, like we are a sinner. So in my cardinal proposal is that God listens to prayers of the poor, the weak, the oppressed, and wait for it, the humble.
Okay, how was it? I hope you got some positive takeaways from this. Leave your thoughts below in the comments, and don't just like and subscribe, but also click that share button and share this with your family and friends as well. Take care and God bless. I can't believe it's almost the end of October. What's new with you? Well, actually, let me go first. Okay.
Threw me a curveball.